So I folded some hands off early and the blinds hit, and then I raised once and I'm back to 1500. And that's normally how these go for me. I'm not going to play any non-premium hands, good mid pairs or ace king in the early stages. From early position, I still need at least a decent mid pair or ace queen or something from mid position, and in late position I'll expand my range to hands like ace 10, some suited connectors, a couple more, a few more types of Broadway hands on the button, but that's about it. Maybe like if I know there's a really passive player in the big blind, then I'll raise looser. I'll raise some marginal hands or even junk if I just know that they're going to be folding 90% of the time. But that's not the norm. Oh, and that ace-ace hand, if that was in this, I wouldn't be shoving that flop. I wouldn't be raising that flop small to that bad. I don't think. I might sometimes, but normally I would just call or push. I don't want to make my plays transparent. I'll push it just like I might push mid-pair or a flush draw, or just an ace on that flop. The problem is it's unlikely they have an ace, but if I just push there after they bet, they're probably calling if they do have it, and since they bet, likely they have something. So I might as well just shove. And no, I'm not going to be defending with this hand. I just don't like to defend. If I defend, I'm going to be pushing all in. I'm not going to risk all of my chips here. If the blinds were higher and it was 100, 200, or even 150, 300, I might shove after the limp, but here I'd be committing 1400 chips to win 200. It's just not worth it. I'll see a flop in position. I missed. He can have it. Here the pot is 150. Hassan has 1,000 chips, so has 950, let's say. So that's 6 times the pot, a little more. I could have pushed this if it's past me. It's sort of close, but I think it's a money-making push, and I would go ahead and shove there. Blind on blind, you can get away with shoving a lot of hands. Gooch makes a loose raise, not a great idea. He puts 300 chips in to win. Even in this, I'm going to play pretty tight right now. I'm just going to go ahead and fold. I don't want to put 300 chips in like he did there to win, 150 in the pot when these guys might just shove on me. Maybe Bone Daddy's got a vendetta against me. We'll call and see a flop. The lower limit players are going to be loose. My hand doesn't flop well. I have a nice stack. I'm not going to go ahead and raise ace-x there. I might raise, jack 10, but at least that can flop if they cold call. And there's a decent chance that I'll be cold called with the way that these guys play. And once again, even in the lower limit, the most important, you can get away with playing a lot of styles early on as long as you play well, as long as you make good decisions. You can be loose if you want to, just make sure that you're a good loose player. But in these are both turbos, by the way. Obviously it's different in normal sit and goes, although a lot of the same concepts like the bubble are still very important. But in this, you can be loose, I suppose, and maybe get away with it, but the most important part is that you play the bubble well. You play the late game well when everyone's short. That's going to be most of your profit in these tournaments. That's where most of your profitability, your return on investment comes from. The best players in these play the bubble just perfectly. They know all of the opponents and how they play, and make good decisions when it's push-fold time. Do you push or do you fold here? You'd be shocked, if once you play a lot of these, how often you can just not have many chips when you get there and pick good spots and increase your stack. Then maybe win one important showdown or all-in type hand for a portion or all of your chips, and you're there. You're in the money. Right now, I have $13.50 in this sit and go. I'm much healthier in the $25. The blinds are going to increase in 2 minutes, so that'll be in the next orbit. They're going to hit me. I'm going to lose $2.25 more to my stack. I'm going to have 11.25 chips left. significantly less than my starting stack. I'm at the point where I'm not going to standard raise anything even before these blinds hit me. Whenever I have a hand here in this position, I'm always going to push or fold with it. Let's talk about the hands. Right there, what hands did I push or fold? I'd probably want 8s or 9s. I wouldn't shove the lower pairs yet, although I would if I had 225 less. And I certainly would if it was 100, 200. I'd fold ace jack, I would shove ace queen, ace king, so a pretty tight range, and I won't be mixing in random hands there. Here, it's an okay flop. I have a backdoor flush draw and a gut shot. If I bet out here and get raised, I have to fold. I'm going to go ahead and just check and see what he does, and maybe I'll raise him, maybe I'll call, maybe I'll just fold. Okay, that's a great turn for me. I'm going to go ahead and make a big bet. I just want to take it down right now. I'm going to bet the pot 450 with my flush draw, bottom pair, and straight and open-ended straight draw. It's a big hand, but I don't want to see the river, and I don't really want action. I'd rather just take it down. Here I'm not going to push. There is 225 in the pot, but I have significantly more than that. Hassan will need a good hand to call, but Jeff might not. I'm not going to do that. So we're not in great shape here. Generally we want to get some hands early or have won some pots at this point. But I haven't really had that happen. Just unfortunate. Not much you can do about that sometimes. Could have been a little looser early, but that's just not how I like to play these. It's not that big a disadvantage to get short stack late in as long as you get some good spots to move your chips. I'm going to just fold my rags here. Same here. We got, okay, the blinds are up now, 100, 200. They're about to go up here too. So now there's 300 in the pot. My M is under 4. They're going to hit me again and I'm screwed. Well, this is going to be an easy open push. This is the second hand we've played the entire sit and go in this one. I don't automatically push. I always think a few seconds. Sometimes I have a decision and I don't want to just, when I have a decision, have to think, or when I'm acting. The other times when it's an obvious easy push like here, just do it immediately. See, I got 1425, and you can see how, like, it's not that important if you don't get chips early on, just because, okay, after this level, supposing I push again in the next orbit or whatever, and the ante's going to come in, so my M will be down to, 3 or 4 depending on my stack. I can still push pretty aggressively if I can find good spots, and my stack will just increase. And it's not, if you play the bubble really well, you can get to 200, 400 with 2,000 chips, and it's not that bad. It sucks, especially if your table position is bad, like there's a big stack to your left, but it's not the end of the world. You still have a decent chance at money if you play well, and that's why another reason that I don't think it's that important to accumulate early on. Well, that was pretty standard. With Bone Daddy's stack at this level, he pretty much had to stick it in with 10s. And we see that Money Man had 2,400 chips and he raised to 600 there. Honestly, I would just push Ace King. 12 big blinds is a lot, but I hate seeing flops and getting called and sit and goes. So I'm just playing push fold. Here, I got, with a little more chips, it's okay for him to open raise, but what if I shoved on him? He would have a tough decision, and we're approaching the bubble. That kind of sucks for him. Wow, did I just get a walk? Yeah, that's really great that I got a walk there. That's just an awesome result. 300 chips is just huge. As you can see, like I said, the players at the lower limit tourneys are a lot looser. He's going to limp in early position with that many chips. I never liked that play. I'd go ahead and raise or fold there. I don't know about this call by Hassan. He likes pot odds, but here, I think with his stack, it's much better to just fold his hand in. The odds are kind of close anyway. So we've got a shove. This guy's played some pots. I would say his range has any pair in it, and some overcard hands. I'm just going to go ahead and fold here. It's kind of close because I'm not actually sure that he has any pair. and if I lose here, I lose half my stack. I'm in a very comfortable position at this point to get to the level with the antes. I think if I had tens there, I'd have to call. That's how close that decision was. It's a pretty close decision. But if I knew he had any pair in his range, like he could have any pair, and then he could have, like, you know, maybe ace 10 to ace king or something, then it would be close, but I think it would be a call. But I don't even know that he's going to push deuce deuce there. I'm not really sure what kind of player he is, and some players will just fold it there and wait for a better spot, so to speak. So I'll just go ahead and fold my nines rather than risk half my chips when I'm in a comfortable position. And, you know, it's not like an MTT where I'd say you should push every edge in a sit and go. You don't always want to push every edge, and it's like the whole bubble situation I talked about. Sometimes there will be plus chip EV parts where it's an easy fold because if you lose you won't make the money, and in terms of ICM, which I think I'll do a lecture on, which is, you know, like in terms of the value of your stack and position in the tournament, it's a losing play. So I haven't really had any half-assed hands to make a raise here, which is fine. There's no ante in. I don't want to be too loose. And we're not on the bubble yet. In 1 minute we'll have the ante in here. I'm just kind of blinded down here, but no real hands, so whatever. And look, we got a min-raise from the small blind. Not a very good play. Never a play that I would advocate. Now Hassan, with 2,200 chips, he raised to okay, I just realized I could check this thing. Wow, terrible. He raised to 600 and then called the re-raise all in. I don't like it. Why would he raise that hand to 600? Just go ahead and open fold the queen 10 there. Just open fold it. Yeah, I hate that repush with queen king too. He said love the repush, but I hate his play there. And that sucks for us because now we've got a cripple to our left and I can't push that effectively in that situation. Just because he's going to be calling a lot of hands. So we've got money man calling. I'll just go ahead and check this time. If the ante was in, I might go ahead and push. I've got a flush draw, but it's a bad board. I'm not going to play it aggressively. I'll just check. And now I'm going to lose the pot, but that's okay. He might have called me anyway. Well, alright, I'll put Hassan in, obviously. I'm getting great odds to do so. I don't like having to do it, but oh well. I didn't possibly get a walk again, did I? Damn, that's respect. That's great. Awesome result there. Get a walk and then get some extra chips by knocking out Hassan. Now I've got a pretty good stack, 2K. I can definitely maneuver with this, and I've got very solid fold equity. If it's past me here, this is a close decision, but ultimately I do believe that it's a push. It's close because of Jeff's stack. He might call with a lot of hands. Here I've blinded down some. I didn't open raise like I said I was going to, but we'll see what I can do now.